lease agreement came from a model out of Telluride. And they, I can't remember what my memo said, but they had a, I took it out because,
$9 a foot?
yeah, it was $6 or $9 a foot. So I think it's something if you wanted to do it minimal to get it started, and then as it became more profitable, raise it. It's an annual fee.
This
to
might be a silly question, but is that lineal or is that
Square foot.
That's square.
Square.
Because lineal, okay.
And so that's left in there. And we can set that in the fees, and like I say, from 0 to whatever the is an appropriate fee. We'll have to see who wants to do it. We have one interested party. They came before. They're looking for something a slightly different ultimate use, so I don't know.
You know, one of the things we talked about was having some kind of a semi-permanent fence or something. If you have a business and it puts up a semi-permanent fence that requires them to bolt it to the ground in order to make it safe enough that it's not gonna fall over or whatever, are we gonna look at that as being damage to city property or just the cost of?
My memory served that you don't bolt it down, but I
Okay,
could be
cannot be
wrong.
bolted
That it was
down.
movable and
Okay.
that they were totally responsible for damages to the sidewalk. They were totally responsible for repairs.
And Telluride charges $36 per square foot.
Right.
3 to 6?
Yes, sir.
16. So, yeah, something was mentioned about planters or some type of removable barrier at night.
And these things are going to have to be approved by the building official. They're going to have to be looked at by Public Works. And then the lease prepared based on what we have. There'll be something of a picture.
Each one would be. an
Each one will probably
individual.
be an individually different situation.
And I'm gonna go so far as to just ask or wonder, let's say they do planters. Are we really gonna make them take them down every night?
No, I think this would be, I'd consider this to be more like a
Seasonal.
semi-permanent kind of a thing, like where they could move like planters, but certainly you're not gonna drag those inside. I think they'd get them set up, because if we're measuring out and we're saying, okay, there's 4 foot of sidewalk here, and this is your area, we wanna have kind of fixed points. We don't want the next day's, bartender to affix those points. And
Okay.
so I think they're gonna be more semi-permanent. I'm thinking like they've got nothing is industrial, is like traffic control kind of stuff, but just something they could sit there, they could come out with a piece of equipment or something, but
Something that's not going to fall very easily.
That's right.
I'm
Well,
also
what-
thinking about through traffic and just someone bumping into something.
What you're also going to be looking at, and this is what I think is going to be interesting, is when you talk about a planter, if you have 4 feet of sidewalk has to be there for people to pass on, okay? And then there's a certain amount of usable space, and that divider is going to differ based on how much room they have. So if they have 8 or 10 feet, they may do a really wide base planter. If they don't have 8 or 10 feet, they may come up with something that's narrower. I don't know what. These are things we'll have to work our way through. So I think that's why everything's going to vary based on which piece of sidewalk you see.
$3 to $6 per square foot, and charge them by what, the month?
I think that's
Annually?
It's an annual fee.
when they get their liquor license.
Well, what we
Renewal.
set these up for was every January, so when we did the fee resolutions, we would just do these and renew them.
Definitely something that is going to be seasonal, though. Outdoor dining.
Unless you have polar bear diamonds.
That's true.
Well, but if it's something like, the only place that's actually brought this up to us was KSJD. If they did a show in February of some live music and they had this area where people went outside to drink or whatever, it could be year-round somewhat, but I think that's going to be, again, how bad do you really want to have a beer outside in February?
And how?
Yeah.
So far, KSJD is the only one. They're actual people who proposed it, and they're the only ones interested in it so far. We haven't heard anything back from
No,
any other eateries downtown.
Spruce Tree, Sharon there was really excited about it. She talked to me about it, but she's got a lot of front yard there. I don't think she would actually need this program, but it's just kind of got her thinking about outdoor dining and extending her footprint, but I don't think it would apply to her. So I think most of our businesses, unfortunately, are gonna, it's not gonna be the city hurdle, it's gonna be the CDOT hurdle.
Right.
And so, you know, to the extent, I don't think there's any battle to fight with CDOT yet. I think we just need to stand by, and when we have that local business that wants to do it, if CDOT isn't receptive to it, at that point, I think we can get involved and kind of advocate and see if we can, you know, work on their behalf.
Because each one's going to be case by case, and usually it's just going to be on the side streets anyway, right?
That was my impression. And we would also slowly turn, at some point, switch Blondie's over to the new agreement as well.
Right. Well, we did have like Mr. Happy's when Dave owned that. He had wanted to put something out on the sidewalk, and at that point, CDOT was an impediment. We didn't really have a local process for it, so there was, you know, really nowhere to move with it. But you know, we could have that at any point where somebody wanted to kind of come out.
And CDOT might change. They've changed a lot over the years from on their approach to downtown, as you saw at the presentation. I mean, that was kind of a big step in my mind for what I've seen from them in the past. So this would be the first step to moving forward on this. They would come to you folks initially for the initial lease, and then it would be renewed annually. We could put it on the consent agenda so you knew what happened, but we wouldn't have to do hearings, we wouldn't have to do anything. And the money would be, the fees, if any, that were charged would be set by resolution. So it gets to be a pretty painless and time-consuming after the second one, after the first one. And if for any reason one of the departments said it should be rescinded because there were problems, then Linda could rescind it. We bring it to council for you to cancel the lease when we move forward. And then they would also have to change their liquor license because they lost premises and things like that. So there'd be some consequences for misuse that you have to think about a little bit, but it wouldn't just be, you know, there's some,
Standard lease, right.
yeah,
There'd be clauses in there about destruction of city property.
there is,
Right.
they're responsible for the sidewalk.
Okay.
And they've got to have insurance.
And plans.
And a strong-arm bartender keeps you behind the barrier.
That's right.
Bouncer.
All right. Well, because this is an ordinance, do I open this up to public?
This is first reading, we're going to
No,
set
this
the
is-
public hearing.
I
This
feel
will be
like
the
I'm
first
playing
reading.
Pinocchio here.
You're
The
off.
rules
There's
change
no
every time.
public hearings tonight.
All righty, in that case, can I have a motion, please?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve on first reading ordinance number 1206, Series 2016, adopting outdoor dining and service of alcohol policy and process for the Central Business District, and set for a public hearing on February 9th, 2016.
Second.
McLaughlin.
Aye.
Price.
Aye.
Butler.
Yeah.
Archibald.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye. All right, the out-of-city water tap pre-annexation agreement. Shane?
Thank you, Your Honor. So since the late 1980s, anytime an out-of-city residents would like a city water tap, that's a case-by-case basis, we bring that to the council. We require them to sign a pre-annexation agreement, which basically says if at any point the city wants to annex, they just automatically agree. They're not going to fight it. They're just automatically involved with it. We've never exercised that. But that is a very standard practice because sometimes there's a commercial business you really do want in town that wants to come in, and you certainly don't want to have that blockage to that growth. So we've always done that. We had Mr. Glenn Layton contact Public Works. He owns a property on Highway 145. They have had a water tap since 1965, so when they hooked in, we didn't have a pre-annexation agreement, we didn't have anything in place. He's been paying us since then. He had a significant enough of a break, and right now, I think that there's a map in here. Isn't there maybe a drawing attached in there? Yeah, awesome. So if you take a look, you see that while long run, his current water line has to run. He wants to do a new connection to a water line that's a lot closer, which isn't an issue. If you were to buy a new water tap, right now we charge 1.5 times for out-of-town customers. That'd be a $6,200 tap. Staff does not think that we should charge him a water tap because he's already bought into the system. You know, really a water tap is often called a planned investment fee. It's not really the fee for connecting to our line. It's really more you're buying into that whole infrastructure. You're buying into our water plant, our water rights, you know, any breaks in the infrastructure, you know, upstream. I mean, you're really just buying into that whole plan. And so he's already bought into the plan, and so we don't think it should apply to him that he would have to buy a whole new water tap. However, there are going to be costs for us to connect him. We are going to have material cost, and we do think that he should pay for actually that physical cost of making that tap. So, Public Works, and certainly I'm recommending that the application be approved. If council agrees with that, you can make a motion to approve the application to relocate the existing 3/4-inch out-of-city water tap with two conditions: that he pays for the time and materials involved to do the work, and that he have an approved backflow prevention device installed on the new service line. And I don't know if I said it, but he has already signed the pre-annexation agreement, so he's compliant with that now as well.
Anyone else out there that you know of that would fall under these same?
I'm sure if he's connected up like that, I didn't pull out. I'm certain we've had out of town customers that connected in a lot longer.
We had a family down the road from him, maybe a year and a half ago, that wanted to tap into our line. Does that ring a bell? And that kind of that same, along the same vein.
This is the traditional way we've done it since the 80s when I first started
I
doing
mean, it was
stuff for
one
the
that-
city, is you get the pre-annexation agreement, you get the agreement, you charge them slightly more. And there's some other, what I want to call it, pecking order for water service that comes, you know. So this is the pretty normal procedure.
I turned the heater on.
It's like for snap cracking.
It's the heater.
Yeah.
It turned
So,
off.
It's
and
okay, it's
this
just
one that you're
ticking.
remembering, Ty, was somebody that we had approved the pre-annexation agreement
Yeah.
and they connected in. Yeah, so this is, you know, right now we have our water rights, the city fathers do well by us, we have ample water rights, we're treating the water, it's, most of the cost in like a water plant are really fixed costs, right? We've already bought the water, we're treating it, we've already built all this infrastructure, we've got millions of dollars in infrastructure. So you open up your faucet and take in, you know, a liter of water out, most of our costs will get you to that point. So right now, we have the water supply, and it's in the city's best interest right now, you know, on a case-by-case to really strongly consider these out-of-town customers. But I
Well,
just
and
say,
these are definitely the gray areas that make rural communities very unique and have to decide how to deal with it.
right, and honestly, and, you know, I think sitting city council in 30 years, are they thinking that? I don't know. I can't say that. I think water's going to continue to become more of a precious commodity. But right now, we have the water rights. I think we could grow significantly more than we've got right now. So we're not near that consideration.
So just to clarify, because I wasn't really sure when I was reading this, so because he already has the tap, basically what we're going to be charging him is just time and materials. He's not going to have to come up with the
That's right.
$6,285.
That's
It'll
right.
just be, okay.
That's right. I think he bought into the system at the time. It would be really unfair, I think, to charge him to buy back in. And there wasn't a memo, and I jumped past it. When we went out there, they actually had another trailer on site that was also connected up to that. That has been connected. He understands that would require its own single-family tap. And he was happy to have them disconnected because I don't know that he knew that was going on or whatever. So
Yeah, he's
that's
working
been
that out
addressed
there,
as
I
well.
think. Yeah. Okay. All right, are there any other questions? Okay, may I have a motion, please?
Honorable Mayor, I make a motion to approve the application to relocate an existing 3/4-inch out-of-city water tap and pre-annexation agreement for the property located at 11496 Highway 145, as submitted by Glenn Layton with the following stipulations. Mr. Layton will pay for the time and materials involved to do the work, and Mr. Layton will have an approved backflow prevention device installed on the new service line.
Second.
Price? Price?
Aye.
Butler,
Yes.
Archbeck,
Aye.
McLaughlin,
Aye.
Lucero,
Aye.
Sheik,
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Sorry. I have them all mixed up. Over here today. I don't know why.
Going snake eyes to the
Yeah, see if you guys are awake.
Really. All right, Dean, reappointments to the Parks, Rec, and Forestry
Yes.
Advisory Board.
Yes, good evening, City Council. The Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Advisory Board for the City of Cortez consists of 9 voting members. By policy, all members are required to be Montezuma County residents. The advisory board terms have ended on the Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Advisory Board for Dan Wood, Brad Waltman, and Tom Reinig. And each one has submitted a letter of interest to continue serving another term. Currently, Dan Wood is serving as the chairperson of the Parks and Recreation and Forestry Advisory Board. For this evening, the City Council will consider letters of interest from Dan Wood, Brad Waltman, and Tom Reinig to serve an additional term on the Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Advisory Board. And, I think overall they've done a good job. I'd like to defer to Councilman Mr. Butler in any comments he may have as well.
They've all been very diligent, show up for the meetings, and they come up with some pretty good ideas, so I highly recommend reappointing all 3 of them.
Second.
Let me just ask, I mean, I would have no reason to,
Say what?
I said I would have no reason to say that they shouldn't be reappointed, but was this open to the public? I mean, was this advertised so that if there were others that wanted to apply?
No, ma'am,
Okay,
it was
okay.
not. Yeah, we just gathered their letters to
Okay.
continue their term.
And do we, I don't think we do, but do we have any kind of a term limit for any advisory group?
I don't believe so. It's just their,
Continual 2-year term?
right.
Perpetual.
And there's no policy regarding advertising open slots or anything like that?
Not that I've been aware
Okay,
of.
all right, that's all I want to know.
Yeah, although that is a good idea. I think based on what Tom said and Dean, I've been to some meetings and they're all great. I think we're lucky to have these volunteers on there, but moving forward, I think it would be a good idea for us to advertise these slots to see. I mean, historically, we've kind of struggled getting good people in there, but I think it's only fair to let people know, because if not, it could be, lifetime, and all the highfalutin, getting to go to a meeting at 7 in the morning and
Yeah.
talk about the
It
Rex and
hurts,
HVAC
I mean.
system.
Yeah, I think what I've seen, most of them serve about 2 terms, so, 4 years, and that seems to be, probably,
A good length of time for them to
yeah,
serve.
yeah, and then get some new blood on there. It's
Okay,
works.
I was just asking for my own,
Yeah, no, good question.
out of my own curiosity. May I have a motion, please?
Madam Mayor, I'd make a motion to reappoint, for the reappointment of Dan Wood, Brad Waltman, and Tom Rennick for another 2-year term on the Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Advisory Board.
Second.
Butler,
Yes.
Archbeck,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Lucero,
Aye.
McLaughlin,
Aye.
Price,
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dean.
Thanks.
All right, donation of surplus chairs. Jane.
So the police department, I think obviously the if the city's a whale, the PDs are blubber with all the budget that Roy has.
I wouldn't take offense to that. That's not offensive at all.
Yeah, so they replaced all their tables and chairs in the training room.
Did they do that when they
That's
did
gonna
the
be the
carpet
worst
too?
metaphor I've ever heard. in my entire life.
I wanted to make sure he was here. I'd never say that if he wasn't here to defend himself. So they replaced all their tables and chairs. You saw in the workshop, we got some of their tables, so we replaced our old ones with those that are very nice. And so then we had other city staff. I think the Welcome Center wanted some chairs, so they went through. Now we've got 21 surplus chairs there. We don't have a need for them. The Cultural Center requested that we donate the surplus chairs to them. I think it's a great idea. They're a local nonprofit, and it's nice to give it to somebody who needs them because the city certainly does not. I put a picture of them there.
They look nice.
Yeah, well, they're not. You got to go and see what Roy's got now. I mean, if you,
Oh, yeah, I saw those.
if Cadillac made a training chair,
It'd be it, okay.
They're so busy, isn't it? They can't do it
Do you,
around.
consider it all, like replacing some of those chairs in there with some of those? Was that ever a thought?
in the
Yeah.
Well,
where we
they're-
have our workshop.
that are there, I think. all
Not
those-
that I'm.
Are you talking
complaining,
about around
those
the
are-
table, around the table
Right,
itself?
yeah, right.
Guess we
It's a
didn't
tradition,
really
those old
I mean,
chairs.
not that, I'm not complaining, those things are great.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
You just don't like the old
I-
70s
well,
colors.
and the reason why it really didn't occur to me, I would tell you that for the with the new city hall, we're gonna have the table was gone, that chairs were gone. You know, we're gonna reuse a lot of furniture, but we are gonna be buying new furniture there as well in some places. I think the workshop room is undoubtedly gonna get a big facelift for that. So we'll have.
I was asking for other members, not for myself.
It'll be in 6 months. Roy will probably be ready to upgrade those anyway, so we'll just take his new ones down there.
Okay, so you don't see a use for them.
I really don't. I think they're total city surplus. I really do.
Well, I like the idea of being able to give them to the cultural center if we can't use
Yes.
them. Why? They'll be to get some use down there. And I think that's a great idea.
I apologize for wasting your time on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
The
good
whole thing
question.
just struck me as funny.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to donate the 21 surplus chairs to the Cortez Cultural Center.
Second.
McLaughlin.
Aye.
Archibald.
Aye.
Price. Keel.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Butler.
Yes?
Sheik.
Aye. All right, Dean, you get to come and tell us about the Montezuma County Access Road easement.
You bet. A joint meeting with County Manager Melissa Bruner and the City Manager Shane Hale, along with other appropriate staff members, was held on September 15, 2015, to discuss the new use of the access road to the city's golf course maintenance shop by the county's Fleet Maintenance Department by serving county vehicles as another access road into the county road and bridge department. And I've furnished the attached site map again. I believe I was at one of the last meetings to bring up about the access road maintenance agreement. And a majority of this access road is owned by the county with an easement given to the city for access to the golf course maintenance shop. The city has agreed to give the county access through its property on the east section of the access road on the south side to the county's fleet maintenance building located at 1700 North Dolores Road. Attached is the City of Cortez easement to Montezuma County, so Montezuma County can access their property with the most direct route taken to the Fleet Maintenance Building, which was the old Armory Building, and minimize any disruption of how the city and county are both currently utilizing their existing properties. The Montezuma County Road and Bridge Superintendent Robert Engelhardt and the City of Parks Rec Director, myself, recently met on site to review the easement area and the proposed boundaries. Both parties were satisfied with the easement area to confirm it would not impede future use of each party's property. So again, there's a site map and then also the easement, and it would basically extend out the access road just further east and go up to right where we now have a fence that runs from our maintenance shop bullpen area to the county's fence.
And this is an area, just to remind council, this is an area that we've been able to work pretty closely with the county. And it's some new fencing and some property agreements that actually benefit both the county and the city.
Are we gonna record this at the clerk and recorder's office? I would recommend.
Yes.
I would
Okay.
sure.
Just so we have it for sure,
Yeah.
so it's like, it's there, it's a record. Okay, good.
And as
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're.
Yeah, I just wanted
Yeah, it's
to-
absolutely going to be recorded.
And just if anybody's wondering, the county actually did incur the expense for the surveying with the easement.
Right. And you remember a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago or a month ago, we did the maintenance agreement with the county, and that was Really, when we met with them, staff's only stipulation is we've done all the maintenance on that road up until now. Now that they want to kind of change the scope and start using it more, we just wanted to make sure that we weren't going to be holding the back on the maintenance. So they took on a big portion of that maintenance. I think it was definitely fairly split. there,
Distributed,
so-
you bet.
And, really, with this easement, all we're letting them do is just drive across a few feet of our property to access theirs. So,
So
Alright.
it doesn't have a red sign. I make a motion to approve the City of Cortez easement Exhibit A for the Montezuma County Shop Building located at 1700 North Dolores Road.
Keel.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
McLaughlin. Price.
Aye.
Butler.
Yes?
Archibald.
Aye.
Sheet.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dean.
All right, resolution number 3, series 2016, the Cortez money purchase plan. Jim?
okay, I'll explain to you what I understand here, so please don't ask me hard questions. The IRS, so the city's retirement plan, is still governed by the IRS. There's IRS rules as far as retirement and retirement savings. And so you're required every few years to do a restatement, which is basically making sure that your plan is compliant with the IRS regulations. And we're in that restatement period now. This does not change our retirement plan at all. It doesn't change anything financially for the employees. There's no more money that the city's putting into the employees. This is just really meeting a federal requirement for the restatement cycle. So that's really all I've got for you guys. If you ask me just one little question about why the IRS is changing, I can tell you I can't answer that question. So I asked staff, and they said, we don't even know. It's just to be compliant with it. And our nationwide people make sure it all complies with the federal laws, but it doesn't really affect the city. So I just want to be upfront and let you know I can't really answer any more questions.
In other words,
So don't ask any guys, I guess it's time to make a motion.
Well, on that note,
And staff recommends approval.
Did you have a metaphor that you wanted to pass in this one at all?
I'm still thinking Captain Ahab, but in a different.
All right, may I have a motion, please?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to move to approve Resolution number 3, Series 2016, a resolution updating the City of Cortez money purchase plan set forth in the Nationwide Retirement Solutions, INC, Model Government Defined Contribution and Trust to be in compliance with applicable changes in the law.
Second.
Lucero.
aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Price. Butler.
Yes?
Archibald.
Aye.
McLaughlin.
Aye. Aye. All right, well, glad to be through that one. We have no draft resolution or ordinances. We have no other items of business. Is there a citizen out there that would like to address the council? Seeing none, we don't have an attorney's report or a city manager's report, do we? Of course.
Too late, Dylan.
I was hoping to
we
just
won't
rush
ask any
right on
questions.
through that.
So a couple of notes. One is we're targeting Tuesday, April 19th for the newly elected council orientation. So this will be most important for anybody who's never sat on council. Although I think we do have a couple incumbents that could be newly elected, and then of course even people who are leaving the council. I think it's good for some of the information that these folks get is good come from the staff, but I think every bit as much they need to hear from their peers and make sure they really understand what the job requires. So that April 19th is after Linda will be done canvassing the election. After that period and before they get sworn in, we just have a 1-week period. And so we're shooting for Tuesday, April 19th for that. And then, and I'll be sending these dates out, but I just kind of want you guys to save the date. And then secondly, on May 17th, we're going to have Tammy Tenoy come over and do the newly elected officials liability training. And so, we do that every 2 years. We have Tammy come and kind of give you guys the fear of God with her fire and brimstone. But it's I would not sacrifice having her come. I think it's highly instructive. She was already booked in Mancus that week, and so it's in between our workshops. We try to angle for different dates. We actually shot her 3 dates, and May 17th is the only one that works for Tammy. And so it's kind of one of those VALA mandatory kind of deals. I think everybody on council should absolutely plan on attending that. So that again is the third Tuesday of the month. It's an off meeting, but we are trying to keep them on Tuesdays because I know that historically council has said, I don't watch any TV on Tuesdays because I'm always in meetings. So schedule me then.
Only because there's nothing going on.
Yeah, that's right.
American Idol.
No.
Yeah, I don't actually know. But
You
they're
would
on
know.
Tuesdays.
Okay.
I don't know what's on.
All right. Is that all of your reports?
That is my entire report.
Oh, okay. All right. Do any city council members have committee reports?
I have one. I always have one, I feel. Mesa Verde Country met last week, and R.A. Burrell with Internet Honey gave us a presentation about where we are on the internet and what we can do to make growth happen using our website and our social medias. And he gave us some graphs and really showed us on where we have room to grow and how we can make that growth happen. It was really an interesting presentation. And then every year, Mesa Verde Country puts on a Lodgers Appreciation event at the end of the season just to kind of thank them for everything they've done for the year. Kelly would like to switch that up and do it at the beginning of the season so that we can really put more information out to our lodgers on how we can get our tourists to stay one more day in our area instead of move on. And so she thinks it would be very beneficial to get information and resources out at the beginning of the season to our lodgers. Let's see, our website viewers continues to grow, and 73% of our hits are with new viewers, so that's good news. The county lodgers gave Mesa Verde Country a $5,000 bonus at the end of the year, kind of appreciation, and I thank you to Kelly for all the improvements and the work that she's put in over the year. So that was kind of nice to get that. Let's see. Mesa Verde Country is now up to 2,500 followers on Instagram, and we ended up the year only having 200 travel planners left, which is pretty impressive. And they stated that there's four top ways that people are finding our website and getting access, and it's directly through Google, through Colorado.com, and through the City of Cortez website. So I thought that was kind of neat that was in one of our top 4 things. And then we're working on Centennial Happenings by partnering with KSJD for a story night on June 25th. And they're doing a travel art exhibit with the City of Cortez. And then the park is also looking at doing a 3-day event in August for all park alumni to come and have a reunion. So there's good things going on.
Got a Park and Recreation Board meeting was on the January the 15th, and among the items discussed was the master plan that Director Martin presented that want to get citizen input on what they would like to have done or what they'd like to see go on at Park and Recreation, and plan on having a couple of general meetings at the Recreation Center for the public to give input and find out what direction they want to go with the upcoming master plan. Also, it discussed was the increase at general admission and punch passes for this year, and they were instituted at the first of the year. The increase is such that we don't hit the public with a large increase at one time, so periodically it's increased just minimal amount. And we haven't heard any adverse feedback from that increase so far. At the natural areas, there's a request for off-road running races, a couple of races each year to be put on there by citizens. And something that I had not heard of before, request for bouldering at the Gear Natural area. You're all familiar with bouldering?
Yes, low-level climbing.
I didn't know.
Gear.
I had no idea what they were talking about. But on the south, I believe it's the south portion of the Gear Natural area, isn't it, Dean?
Yeah, the southwest.
southwest.
It's pretty close to like the Carpenter Natural Area. If you just cut up to gear that way, you run into it pretty quick.
Yeah, and so they're interested in starting that. So there's going to be a whole lot going on come the time of the year when people can get outdoor and do outdoor activities.
Good. I haven't been in there in the last few days. How are those ceiling tiles holding up? The ones that had gotten so wet? The ones in the, well, I get turned around, it would be the west.
We've taken those out, any ones.
Oh, did you? Okay. Okay.
Moisture, so we've taken those out. That's a safety issue.
Yeah.
And then the south portion of the rec center has to correct that. The north portion has so much snow, we pretty much have made sure that there's openings for drainage. To handle a lot of problems with the leaks, there was the drainage that was being covered. Those places where we go and accumulating more water so that the drainage holes have been open. And then come spring, we'll have a roofing company come out and repair the bigger area, the north area of the facility.
Is there any way at this point to put in some kind of a heat tape or something in there? I mean, who knows whether we'll have snow like this again for a while, but it's, I'm in my mind seeing Dan climbing out there, dropping ladders down on that roof to remove snow from those drains, and that doesn't sound like a real good idea to me. I mean, you don't have a choice, but
Yeah, we can take a look at it.
I didn't know whether that was something that could even be done at this stage and how that would work.
Something like a heat tape could be a retrofit. I think we just need to really get a roofing company up there and somebody to really go and just make some recommendations on that membrane and plugging that stuff up. So, we definitely need to start this infiltration coming in, and there may be some other things we can do with just some limitations with the initial roof design to make it go better. So, we should look at that this summer for sure, because it's having the bucket brigade in our residence is
Not a good thing.
I waited for them to fill up, then I just sprinted up the stairs and just made a brand new workout out of it. It was,
And then you were done for the day,
yeah,
right?
exactly. One trip. I'm like, Dan, could you get these back downstairs, buddy?
I'm finished. Okay, thanks, team. All right, we had a nice dinner, and Phil Johnson, Public Works Director, came in to give us an update on the AMR project. We're just about getting ready to finish up with that. Council adjourned for an executive session on a personnel matter, and there really wasn't much after that. We adjourned to the council chambers and ticked off the time. So, is there anybody else that has anything for the good of the city?